Well, hello there, and welcome to our NCAA 06 Dynasty Mode rebuild of the Old Dominion Monarchs. But I don't really like calling it a rebuild because that sort of implies that there's something to rebuild back to, which in the Monarchs case, there isn't really much success to revisit. And you could probably say that about a lot of teams that are in these games, but for my first series, I wanted to pick a team that I had little to no information about nor experience with. And so that's why I ended up picking the Old Dominion Monarchs. I mean, before I headed over to their Wikipedia page, I didn't even know that they were located in Norfolk, Virginia. While I was there, I couldn't help but read a little bit about their history, and I found some interesting tidbits about their early days as a football program up to their more recent endeavors on the field. The school and football team were established in 1930, actually, as an extension school of William and Mary, and they were called the Norfolk Division of William and Mary until 1962, when they adopted the Old Dominion moniker. In 1932, they played the University of Miami, kind of on accident, actually, because Miami sent out an invitation to play William and Mary, and they ended up getting the Norfolk Division because that's where that letter ended up being sent to. The Norfolk Division gladly accepted their challenge and brought down their team, played and lost 6-2, which in your great grandpappy's day, that was a rousing afternoon of gridiron action, if I do say so myself. That early team was disbanded after 10 years of play in 1940 due to several compounding reasons, including accruing a $10,000 debt and having a rule instituted that restricted freshmen from play. They were a 2-year school, so you can imagine how that would hamper things for them. Also, World War II was about to start, and that probably would have ended things right then and there anyway. After a near 70-year absence from college football, the Monarchs would return to the field, joining the FCS from 2009 to 2013. During this stint, they would make the playoffs twice with a single playoff victory before making the jump to the FBS. Their time in the FBS has, as previously stated, not been great, with a lone winning season in 2016, led by quarterback David Washington, to a Bahamas Bowl appearance and victory over Eastern Michigan University. Every other season has either been right at 500 or below it. They have made 2 other bowl games, but lost each of them, making those seasons themselves losing ones also. And that trajectory is something that we are aiming to change with this Dynasty Mode playthrough, rebuild, whatever you want to call it. Speaking of changing trajectory, let's alter course just for a second and talk about the game that we're going to be chasing glory in. NCAA 06 is, of course, a legend and needs no real introduction. But before we get into actually setting up our team, I'd first like to take a quick look at the About page on the NCAA Next website, just to show my appreciation for all the hard work the team has done. All right, here we are at the About section on the NCAAnext.com website, if that makes sense, how I said that. These are the team members, core development team, and other community credits down here. These guys, I don't know exactly what each person contributed to the mod here. I know they did a lot of coding and stuff like that, adding in textures and just doing a lot of stuff under the hood that I don't quite understand on an intimate level. But I know a little bit about coding, and I know how frustrating and intricate and difficult it can be. So I just wanted to send a thank you to all these guys. Most of them, I think, are pretty active on the Discord. I know I've seen some names: Antroid, Hadouken, OK, and I've seen CookieBots. I think their social media manager. Playbook Gamer, I don't know if I've seen on the Discord, but I have been to his YouTube channel. He's got a bunch of videos about how to play NCAA 06 and how to use formations and stuff like that to your advantage, and plays and what to look for on defense, and how to manipulate the opposing side of the ball to get the most positive outcomes that you can for your team. Sometimes just accidents happen though, and you'll see that in his videos. It's what's cool about this older game is everything doesn't feel like it's so on schedule like in maybe NCAA 14. Feels like a lot of the passing routes are just, it's almost hard to make an incompletion sometimes in that game. But Android also has a video on YouTube that describes how to get this mod working. You basically take files from this site and then add them into an ISO file and then burn a new ISO image. It's really not that complicated. If I can figure out how to do it, then you can too. If I can work my way through it, I feel like anybody can. So yeah, big thanks to all these guys, and we'll go ahead and look at some features that they've included in this mod, including, or beginning with, over 15,000 textures replaced at 4K resolution plus. I believe the plus indicates that there are some 8K resolutions in this mod, though I'm not 100% certain, but it's probably a little bit more than 4K or somewhere above 4K for them to put that. Modern rosters, kind of ish, modern-ish rosters. It's up to the 2022 season for this version. This is version 14. It's 14.4 technically, I think. Player editor enabled in all modes. That's big for people like me who would forget that they would have, 7 left tackles and they need right tackles on their depth chart to make it make sense, and they forgot to do it in the off season. That's what I would do. Modern college football alignment, league structure and scheduling, 12-game scheduling system, and Notre Dame's rotation. Football college playoff built in, conference championships and divisionless conferences. This is big for people who are coming from revamped, because if you've played that, you know that the playoff isn't in the mod itself. You have to use an external tool to make that stuff work, and I don't really understand it, but kind of a leg up for NCAA Next is that the playoff is built right into the mod. Updated bowl names, all this stuff is just adding realism to your game. New FBS team, Charlotte, Coastal, Liberty, Old Dominion, that's South Alabama. Just some cool stuff that they've all added in. New stadiums, modern playbooks. Those are courtesy of Playbook Gamer, I believe. He had a big hand in making a lot of these modern playbooks happen. Realistic transfer portal and recruiting, or transfer portal recruiting and waive transfer wait period. So you don't have to wait a year for your transfers to go through. Also, you'll have a batch of players leave your team and get injected into the recruiting pool. It used to be that they would be taken out of your team and you would just get a batch put on your team. You could accept or deny those transfers. Now you have to recruit transfers if you want them. I think it's cool. I think it adds a little bit of, a bit of real worldness to it. De-interlacing, uniform expansion up to up to 20 kits per team, including unique gear and accessories. New modern gear and accessories, all modern NCAA rules. Just tons of changes here, and I really appreciate all the work that these people have done to make this happen. And yeah, that's why I wanted to come over here and do this. And without any more delay, let's get back over to the mod and start our setup. So what we'll do, I guess, is we'll go to the coach options. I've decided to make a new coach named Clinton Flint. This is going to be his first opportunity as a head coach in the Division I FBS. I don't really have a backstory for him. I guess I could have gotten more detailed with that. But his name kind of rhymes, and I thought that would be kind of funny. We're not going to be running a spread offense. We're going to be running a custom playbook, and we are going to be running 4-2-5. We will be running like this for the most part. I feel like this is the most effective against the majority of teams in this mod, because it's kind of updated to just kind of modern tendencies to pass more. So you kind of want to stay in a passing defense look, at least nickel for a lot of the time. I've seen some people playing 4-3 and still make it work, but I just like to have safeties out there. It's fun to blitz on the edge with the safeties out of that look. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Have fun and get mad. So we'll go to the rosters now. We'll edit our depth chart, okay? Grant Wilson is going to be our starting quarterback. He's a pocket passer, and he's not great, to be honest with you. At least not in this game. Haven't seen him in real life. He could use some improvement, but that's okay. Everybody needs a little improvement here and there. Our halfback is Keyshawn Wicks. And we're going to have to switch out Mr. Callaway for Mr. Sani. Whoops, or not. There we go. I like to have him specifically for the 2 halfback shotgun formation, because he's lined up on the right, and that's where I usually throw this screen to out of that formation a lot. And I kind of abuse that screen. I'm not going to lie. Especially at this level of my experience in Heisman, which is not much. We are going to be playing in Heisman. We'll get to that after this. Let me remind myself right now to look at that. We don't have a fullback, as you saw. Ray Mello Murphy is our fullback. We're going to have to change that because we need a blocker out of that. I do have an offset for 2 offset formations, and I need a blocker more than I need. We'll put Quan in as our fullback. Let's see what his blocking is. You know, it's not great. Like at all. It's not great at all. Oh man, we have I have a little wide receiver that can outblock this big giant 6'6" dude. But we're gonna keep him in there because I need him to stay on the team. He's a freshman, and I don't want him to run away. So Spencer is our tight end. Murphy is our backup. Butler could be our actual backup though. Again, blocking. I have a 2 tight end formation that we can use. Left tackle is Mr. Chernak. He's going to have to do. Leroy Thomas is our starting left guard. Xavier Black is a starting center. Stephen Dubois, I think is how you pronounce that. If not, I mean, I think it sounds good that way. And Elijah Hoskin, those are our right guards. Santana Saunders, what a great name, is going to be our starting right tackle. Chris Adams is going to be backing him up. Who's younger? Ooh, Chris Adams actually is going to be our starting right tackle. Sorry, Santana. Okay. Chris Trinidad is not, well, yeah, Chris Trinidad is not going to be our starting left end. That's going to be Mr. Badada, who's a right end for some reason. I'm going to have to change all these too. I might kick that out of the video. Amori Morrison is our starting right end. Denzel Lowry is going to be our starting defensive tackle. And Jaleel Taylor is going to be backing him up. Or lined up right next to him, not backing him up. Cole Daniels is going to be backing both of those gentlemen up. He'll probably rotate out. Jason Henderson is our middle linebacker playing left outside linebacker. He's an 88 overall at left outside linebacker. He's a 92 middle linebacker. Yeah, he's very good. We're very lucky to have him. He's the best player on our team. We do have a good back right outside linebacker. He's going to be playing next to him for the most part. Nolan Johnson is our starting cornerback. He's a redshirt senior, as you see. Rashid Reason is going to be our backup corner. Not our backup corner. He's also my brain goes to backup because this is under. But that's not how that works. He's going to be our corner number 2 on the opposite side. Lamarion James, I believe is how you pronounce that name. Let's see. No. Maybe. Yeah. Lathan. Jakarion Lathan. Lathan's good. He'll have to wait his turn though. The 90 speed is what's doing it for me there. Taj Rael is our free safety. He comes in clutch sometimes. Terry Jones and Sean Asbury will be our safeties. And then Mr. Ethan Sanchez is our kicker. Ethan Dwayne, a tackling machine, I'll have you know. It's our punter. Kick returner. I don't want Bly out there since he's one of our starting receivers. We'll have Page take kick return 1. We'll have TJ Lott, a freshman, as number 2. Punt returner. Let's have TJ Lott do it again. I could go with Lamarion James, but we're going to go with TJ Lott. Okay? Get him some experience back there. All right, and that does it for the depth chart. We're going to go edit some players, though, so it looks a little bit prettier. Okay, before we go any further, I think we should check out what we are expected to do. I have cheated a little bit on this. We're not going to be playing Oklahoma. We're going to try Auburn instead of Oklahoma, just because I think if there's any team that I could potentially have a chance at beating, it's going to be Auburn, I think. Not saying that's going to be something that happens, but it could. So we'll check that out. Now, we'll go... Oh, I have to beat James Madison also, and I have to make a bowl game. Sorry if I didn't read that out for you. If you're listening along, kind of have me off to the side or something. We've already done Ross. I'll show you my playbook real quick. So this is what I have, basically. Some ace, a weak offset eye, strong offset eye, shotgun, tight, trio, spread, trips. I like to have these formations like this to the left and the right because I like, after watching Playbook Gamers videos, I like to have these bunch formations on the short side of the field. So if you're on the right hash, you do this. If you're on the left hash, you go here. that kind of thing. Sometimes you can switch it up and switch them around and stuff like that. Uh, oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to change one of the. I'm gonna change tight for this. That's what we need. Okay, so now we'll save that. I guess we can go look at Athlon Sports before we do our in-season recruiting. And we'll check out the preseason polls. Georgia, Michigan, Alabama, Ohio State, LSU, USC, Penn State, Florida State, Washington, and Tennessee rounds out your top 10. Then you have Clemson, Utah, Texas, Oregon, TCU, Kansas State, Oregon State, Wisconsin, Notre Dame, or Notre Dame, North Carolina, South Carolina. I kind of like that. Ole Miss, Tulane, UTSA, Oklahoma, and that is your top 25. Boise State, South Alabama, Troy, Iowa, Texas Tech gets you to 30th. That's about all we're going to do. Our team, we're way down. 108. That's where we're at. Charlotte is right behind us, followed by Texas State. Okay. So the Heisman watch for the preseason. Caleb Williams. So this is the 2023 season. So these guys are still going to be around for a little bit. He might stick around for another year or two. It just, you know how these older games go. Well, you know how these games go. We got Michael Penix. Michael, it's a soft E there. Okay, oh, she's okay. Bo Nix, Drake May, Brock Bowers. That's your Heisman hopefuls for the preseason. Now we move on to the in-season recruiting. A punter? A punter? A punter? Number 1? Okay. So we could go for a fullback. I'm not going to, though, because we don't need one per se right now. It's not a definite need. We can get one in the offseason. It's not that big of a deal. And then we can get a defensive tackle and a cornerback. We can focus our efforts there. Let's start with the corners. We'll come over here. Florida is a pipeline state for us, so that's pretty big. We like that. Now, we're not going to be able to get any of these guys, so forget about it. Don't even worry about it. Oh, I kind of like this guy. Has pretty decent speed. We'll go ahead and grab him. Probably going to have to come down. Maryland. McAdams. God, do I even try for one of these guys? I don't think I should. I guess we could try Cameron Vickers. I guess that's where we're going to stop there. Now, I want to look at offensive linemen after this. I'm really just going for pipeline guys who are not super far down the list. Okay. Anybody else that we can grab? We can maybe go for somebody else that's kind of near. Oh, 1 star. Jeez. He's got A- field awareness. He's got terrible strength, though, and all that. Not very kind to us this year in the off-season recruiting. Hopefully these guys, at least one of these guys will be interested, and then I won't feel like I wasted time here. Let's see if we can find something decent around here. This guy looks pretty good. He's probably going to go, though. How about this guy? We'll go for him. I like him. Go for both these guards. Let's look at tackles. I really want to update the linemen, or upgrade the linemen. We'll take Kenny Berry. Why not? See if we can get some traction. Not a lot. There's one guy up here that I think will be worth going for. We'll go for Jalen Newman. And then quarterbacks. Oh, man. I shouldn't. Maybe we can grab him. Who knows? Oh, 5'8", 428 pipeline. I mean, I have to, right? He's never going to want to come to my school. But he's from Virginia. So at least we have that. Oh, we could get this guy. I think I'm going to skip the quarterback this year. Maybe. Who else did I get? The wide receiver. You know, we kind of have okay talent at wide receiver for this level for right now. We've got some young guys that might turn into something. The running back situation I'd like to improve because running backs, especially fast running backs, can be really strong in this game. So, like every game, I guess. All right, that's where we're going to go for there. We're going to go to the preseason options, and I'm going to make one schedule change. It's going to be to come down to Oklahoma. We'll set them. You know what? Since we have history with this school, we need to play William and Mary at least we'll play our 2 rivals back to back. They were rivals in the FCS. I do remember reading that. And then here, we'll change this to Auburn. I think Auburn will be available early in the season. There you go. So that's what we're going to do. We'd like to keep that schedule, yes. Then we'll go check out redshirting some guys. Got a logjam at 74 overall. I'm going to redshirt Kelby because he's got the best hands on the team. Sorry, that took me a second. Maybe I'll cut that pause out to make myself sound... Oh, never mind. I'll sound stupid no matter what. Amarion Granger. He's got pretty good hands for all things considered. Okay, we'll redshirt him and Kelby. I'll try to get Quan involved as much as I can. I don't know if there's much else I could really go for. I guess Jordan. We could redshirt Jordan here. Okay, that's going to do that. So we'll back out. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and simulate through week 0. And now we're back. Let's go ahead. What we'll do is I'll do all this stuff, and then the next episode we'll just start with the game. Now we have to check if anybody at all is interested in our team. The quarterback is. We'll put 20 into the quarterback. Option, here we come. The running back is not interested in. We got to check our actual needs before we go any further. Oof, that's going to be a tough one. Ugh. Okay, so none of our targets are super interested in us, so we'll have to go for this cornerback for sure. This defensive tackle. We'll have to put points in. We need to put 25 on him. We'll just go for these 4, actually. How's that sound? We'll just go for these 4 guys. And that'll be that. Yeah, so that's where we'll start our recruiting. I'll be playing Georgia Southern next. I will see you in the next episode. I did change out some of the textures, so not change them out. I just kind of switched them around. We're going to be wearing all white. Usually they're wearing a blue helmet and blue pants in the away uniforms, but I kind of like this all white look. So that's what we're going to do. The home uniform is all blue except for a white helmet. If I ever had the courage or the skill, I would probably try to add in the powder blue, light blue alternate uniforms that Old Dominion has. They have some other ones too, but their coolest ones are these all light blue. Even the helmet is light blue. And yeah, they have like a 70s racetrack ODU on the side of the helmet. Check them out or maybe I can put a picture up or something if I remember. That's really about all I have for you today, I think. Before I go, actually, let's check. I'm going to change the AI on one side of the difficulty is Heisman. We're going to be at 6 minutes. I need to change some stuff in here. I want that, and then penalty we'll leave alone. Actually, I'll have to look up some sliders again. I'll do that before the end of the next episode. I won't bore you with doing all this. Thank you for tuning in for the first episode. We're going to be playing on Heisman. I'm not great at the game, but hopefully I'll give some entertaining commentary nonetheless. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.